Hi, Raj. Welcome to CW Trending. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Jeff. I've really enjoyed, getting to know the community by going through composites world almost regularly. It seems like every time I open up my mailbox, there's another email from composites world. So very
Yeah,
informative.
yeah. Well, that's our job, is to be communicative. So tell us a little bit about your role at SAMPE. You're new, relatively new to the organization. What are you doing?
Sure. So I was hired in the role of Chief Technology Officer. It's a new role for SAMPE. And what's remarkable about the organization, it's a storied organization, been around since 1944, et cetera. But in the past, I believe, it was almost assumed that the technology strategy of the organization, is fine. I mean, we obviously had folks looking at it at all times. But I think now the board, the cabinet, and others in the community have said it might be a little more beneficial to be strategic about it. And when I say that, what I'm saying is, SAMPE has several properties, just like Gardner, which owns CW and all the other publications. But SAMPE has CAMX in partnership with ACMA and our own May spring conference and the new materials innovation forum that my team has launched. So what we want to make sure is that the themes are aligned. And Jeff, if they're aligned, what we see happens is that there's more impact in the community.
Okay. So as you noted, SAMPE's not had a CTO in the past. So what is your, you have a vision yet or an idea yet about how this job might evolve and what your influence might be over the organization?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I think, what's very exciting is that the whole industry, there is so much going on, not only with some new technologies coming out, but new markets being developed. And I think the timing of all this is fascinating. As you may know, I came from an organization called ASME, where I was focusing on advanced manufacturing and robotics for some time. So I think what's very useful is that I could take some of that knowledge and network that I built up over there and use it in the materials and process world in composites. And that's very useful because I think, as you know, nothing is the same anymore. Even our manufacturers, they're introducing new technologies, automation is coming in. Yes, there is still hand ply and things like that, but I think, overall, folks are realizing that with technology, you can really increase productivity and obviously bottom line. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want to do, right? We all want our community to be profitable, sustainable, growing. And I think our role as SAMPE is to make sure that the knowledge, the information, the networking, and the community that we deliver is relevant. It's relevant and timely, and that's why I feel the CTO role right now is really critical because so much is going on. So how can the organization make sure that we have some focus?
Yeah. You mentioned your background, so tell us a little bit more about what you did at ASME and what you did before that. How did you come to composites?
Thank you, Jeff. So, I was at ASME more than 20 years. ASME is headquartered out of New York City. So I remember that commute into a Grand Central very dearly. Many, many years I was on that early train out of my town. But at ASME, recently, for the past 5-6 years, I was focusing on business development. So the society, many may know the society through pressure vessels, piping, etc. But again, for every organization, things were changing. The landscape was changing very fast, and mechanical engineers are needed in automation, in robotics, in additive manufacturing, and then especially when additive manufacturing started to focus on production parts. I think we were really, it's almost like when the iPhone or the mobile device came out, right? It was exponential. The computing power and connectivity, all of a sudden, overnight, that our devices gave us from the flip phones. And I think that's what's happening in the field. Engineering is changing rapidly. And again, to be honest, I came from a metal world, right? My mechanical engineering background was primarily focused on metals. And I think that's part of the opportunity that SAMPE, CW, and our friends at ACMA, others have, that composites are really starting to show the market that, we can deliver product to the market and be cost effective, high quality, and perform. So I'm trying to take what I learned from the ASME days and then transition it over. I did have a chance to work in our codes and standards unit, conformity assessment at ASME for many years. So talk about part qualification. I know that's very important to the additive community, but even to our community. We put something out there. We want to make sure if it's going to go up on those 787s or Airbuses, we want to make sure that's qualified and it is what exactly, what the design engineer thought it would be.
Let's talk a little bit about how SAMPE currently organizes technical content, especially for conferences. Right now, for our viewers who don't know, that's done through the Emerging Technology Subcommittee, which then supports the Technical Excellence Committee. So you're kind of inheriting this infrastructure. I'm just wondering what your views are on that, and how do you see your role working with those two committees?
Yeah, and by the way, thank you, Jeff, because I know you're chair of our Emerging Technologies Committee, so we appreciate your leadership. And look, that's what it's about. It's about folks stepping up. You have a full-time job. I'm sure you have several other things you can do with your free time than contribute and volunteer to SAMPE and Emerging Technologies Committee. But what I've seen is that the market and our members and non-members out there realize that SAMPE is in a very unique position, right? So we're neutral. We're a third-party convener. We love all of our partners out there. We love Boeing. We love Airbus. And we're not going to lean one way or the other. We just want technology to advance. And I feel like part of my role and my team's role is to accelerate that, Jeff. How can somehow we use this technology to accelerate the development of solutions? And that was really the birthplace of the Materials Innovation Forum. What we did was we turned to committees such as what you mentioned, the Emerging Technologies, and there are 5 other committees that we've been working with: high temperature materials, hybrid and bonding, composites factory of the future, industry 4.0, recycling, and rapid manufacturing of high performance composites. What we said was the committees are actually, I feel, really spot on topically. Focus wise, I think what we need now is a little more awareness, because I believe there are folks out there, especially young professionals, folks from underrepresented communities, that we really want to engage. We really want to add some new perspectives and bring in some new blood. I'm not saying that folks who are currently there, we don't value their input. But again, as multidisciplinary nature of work, everything is changing. So therefore, SAMPE as an organization, we need to welcome folks from SME and Materials Research Society, et cetera. And I think, our committees, the topical focus areas are right on. What I'd just like to focus on is robustness. How can I work with folks like you and make these committees more robust by adding different perspectives, by adding new members, whether they're from our community or not. We may have folks who are not in our community that we need to reach out to, and I hope that my team does that.
All right, you mentioned the Materials Innovation and Advanced Technology Leadership Forum. So that's actually an event coming up. So tell us more about that. Where is it, when, and what are we going to try to do there?
Sure, thanks, Jeff. So again, that I joined SAMPE in January. And I think the idea germinated sometime right after, because what I saw was a gap. I saw that, there's some major events coming up, such as CW's Carbon Fiber event in November in Utah. We have obviously CAMX and the JEC show and the SAMPE May conference. But I saw that there was a need for like a thought leadership type event. And the Materials Innovation and Advanced Technology Leadership Forum will take place in Huntington Beach from January 26th to 27th in person. I have to keep reminding myself because everyone keeps saying, well, what about the online component?
Right.
Well, yeah, there's always some online component, but in general, we're very excited to be having it in person. And, I think what we were saying is we're going to put together some experts. And what we've done is we broke it up into 4 segments, Jeff. The Materials Innovation Forum is broken up into challenges, opportunities, synergies, and computer simulation. So we thought these were 4 buckets that we really want more conversation on. The forum will not be paper driven. By that, I mean there won't be research papers. There will be application oriented presentations. We have a total of 14 speakers, and I'm very happy and proud to say that they represent, I believe, most of the supply chain. We have some geographic diversity, some folks coming in from Spain and England, hopefully with all the health situation getting better. At the end of the day, it was really a conversation that I felt we needed to have. It's a short program. I think it's almost like a jump start to the JEC program out in France that everyone is very excited to go back to. But we thought, this is a way not only for SAMPE to add to that robustness that I mentioned previously and draw some folks in, but also to talk about some very relevant topics. And the theme of the forum this year, Jeff, is the industrialization of composites manufacturing. So we really want to make an impact on that and get some talks that are very relevant and stir some conversations.
So what do you hope attendees come away with? What's your deliverable? What's your goal for folks who come to this forum?
Yeah, no, Jeff, that's really great because speaking to a couple of folks recently, actually our Carolinas chapter, and they put on a great program on one of the ships out there. It's very unique, and I remember the leadership of that chapter said, if the value isn't clear, it doesn't matter. So what we're really hoping to do is what is needed to go to the next level in composites manufacturing. Certainly, that one form is not going to have all the answers, but I think by assembling the group of experts that we have with different viewpoints and from different communities, one of the sessions I mentioned is on synergies. So, we're speaking to experts from automotive, experts from wind energy. And I think, again, I'm sure that type of product, knowledge product, does exist in the marketplace, but we thought, this is an intimate setting where we can really have some intense dialogue, like what is needed. We might be at a point where we can scale, but then who's gonna, what about the inspection technologies? What about the quality assurance? So I think, what we're trying to do is in a very short time frame, in a day or in 2 days, try to really generate that discussion. And then we want to continue it through your channels, through CW articles. We want to continue it through our new 365 platform. It might mean some webinars that we do, whether we do them together with CW or not, but more is needed. And I think someone has to start that discussion on, look, this is where we are now in this space, and let's map out what everyone needs to do. What does Boeing need to do? What do our material suppliers need to do?
Yeah. Well, I think it should be a great event. Certainly, I'll be there, and we'll encourage our audience as well. So if somebody wants more information on that, where should they go?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So you can find it off the SAMPE website, but the program actually has its own website, materialsinnovationforum.org. It's a mouthful, yes, but hopefully it's the only forum out there like that. So obviously, as I said, on sampe.org. And then actually, I think even through CW, you guys are helping out. You guys are great friends and have outstanding reach globally. So we are very happy that you will be out there moderating one of our sessions, Jeff, and make sure that CW sees anything first that some of our presenters report on, because I think that's what I've come to know. There are a few leading publications out there. When I read CW, I feel like I get the latest content right away, and that's really my mission. I want to put some content out there that's very timely and relevant.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to the event, and I wish you much luck in the new job, Raj. It seems like you've hit the ground running here. So we appreciate your service, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Well, we'll see you at CAMX, and we'll look forward
That's
to
right.
seeing you in Huntington Beach in January as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff. I'm really looking forward to it. And you know, again, the community is this vast community. And I think that's what SAMPE is about. You know, we're about community. We want to grow everything. So we want to grow CAMX. We want to grow the readership at CW. We want to grow our membership. So if anyone's interested, just let us know. You know, I'm here for you. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one. I'd love to meet you at some of these meetings throughout the year, online and definitely in person. So thank you again, Jeff.
All right. Thanks, Raj. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for.